Welcome back to Etc. Podcast, baby. I'm your host, Victor Long, my co-host, Mark.
You.
Today's a special day, people. You know why? The fucking Birds back, baby. It's our year. Q Quentin's video from like 2017.
Yep.
It's gonna be a good year.
EAGLES Eagles.
We got a squad. Let some guys retire, but we still got a good core.
True,
The roots
yeah,
still
yeah, yeah.
remain, as the hype video says. We try and get this done before it's time to get the game start. Got my hat on in spirit. Mark got the jersey on. Good vibes. They in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I know. I heard about that. I was like, oh, okay.
Brazil. So let's see how fun that'll be. They're not happy about it.
Oh.
I don't know if you've seen.
Guess.
They're very upset about this.
Wow.
For many reasons.
Is it just like the weather?
No.
Okay.
Brazil is beautiful.
I mean,
But
yeah, I was like,
more so, one, because of this game, it means we have one less home game this year, which is like, especially for Philadelphia,
Yeah.
that's like home field advantage is a big deal because like our we pop out and like that's less travel, so like they basically get one less chance of playing at home and being where they're used to being. So it's a completely different time zone, all that other shit, as well as just like they've been advised to basically not do anything else except go to the game and go home because of like violence and like all the stuff that's going on. So don't do any extracurriculars, don't get in trouble while you're there, come back home. A lot of the players have told their families to not even come, just out of their own safety.
That makes sense.
And then
I'll be like, I'm trying to go to Brazil.
Yeah, no. But everybody's just like, yo, like just play the game and go home. Like,
yeah.
And a lot of players have voiced that opinion. A lot of Brazilians got upset and offended.
Oh.
Because they're just like, oh, like you're saying like our country's dangerous, and it's just like,
I mean,
yes and no. Because like a lot of them like, oh, but like what about the crime rate in Philadelphia? It's like, yeah, cool, but like
but we're from here.
Yeah, like we know how to.
For at least
There's a foreign area, foreign language. A lot of stuff is like up in the air, and
exactly. And I mean, it's not just y'all country. Like they would have said this probably to a lot of other countries too. You know, like it just so happens like a lot of those countries, like Brazil, Colombia, even DR,
some
like
places,
Puerto
like,
Rico,
especially for people with like they got money, like they got chains and shit.
Exactly,
so it's like they're a target.
You go out thinking this place is good, you see somebody around the corner that's trying to like say what's up to you. Next thing you know, you get held up or something. Like you never know. It's just that's just the only reason why. Like we're not saying people.
There's danger everywhere.
Yeah, we're not saying the people are bad.
People come here and say that it's bad. Like,
exactly. We're saying that as far as like the stuff that could happen, because it could be somebody who's not even from there that's there and do some stuff, But yeah, I would just be like, all right, I'm going to play a game. I'm out. See you.
And over here, they got full staff and protection. It's obviously like they've heightened protection just because they complained. A lot of like the league has like paid for more protection and shit. So that's one thing. And they can't wear green. And both teams that are playing tonight, their main color is green.
Okay. I guess just because,
initially the misconception was that, and I even like was confused by it, but initially they were saying it was because of gangs, like can't wear green because of gang violence and stuff like that.
Isn't that like the color of the flag too, though?
Yeah. But that was not the case. That's why I said misconception. The real reason is that the stadium they're playing in is called this is for their Brazilian soccer team. One of them is called Corinthians, Bible, and they wear black and white, but their rival team wears green, like within their soccer league.
Okay.
So just kind of like out of that, they're like, yo, like don't wear green. Which my thing is like valid, your stadium, your country, do what you want. NFL though, there's like 15 other teams that don't wear green. Probably more than that. I just threw 15 as like a number, but there's so many other teams that wear blue, red, black, gold, yellow.
Yeah. And
you chose two teams that their primary color is green.
Yeah, I was gonna ask like who decided to do this in Brazil? Like I feel like
it's usually like the owners of the team and like the commissioner Roger Goodell and like it's not their first time. This is their first time playing in Brazil. Yeah. But in the past they've played in London, they've played in Germany, and they've played in Mexico City.
But it's just like I just feel like going into it, like I would have asked these questions.
There's so much more planning that should have been, yeah.
And I like if I would have found out that you guys can't wear green, it's like, well, not even for me as the Philly, but just over there, Green Bay, like we both wear green. Okay, guys, let's probably fix a different place. You know? Like ask some questions beforehand. I felt like they were just. That scared
bro. I was. If there was a camera for my feet, you would have seen my legs go like shoom. I was ready to be out, bro.
I was
These
terrified.
cameras was about to get every sound of what was about to happen in this place.
That
We would have been out of there.
terrified me, bro.
I thought we was in Brazil. son.
Honestly, we started talking about it, and I got a little nervous.
We started hearing Portuguese down the hallway. It was like, it's time to go.
ETC.
Oh,
ETC.
shit.
I just be like, they're over there. That people, they recorded over there. That's what ETC is.
What was I saying, bro?
I was mentioning just like the fact that
they should have planned it better.
They should have planned it better, yeah. And bro, that scared my heart dropped. My heart dropped.
I'm like, Mark, we about to get active. Grab your mic.
Because even if it was a loud noise, I would have been fine. But it was the fact that it was like right there. I felt like somebody like banged on the window. Like that's how loud it was.
It sounded like something fell like right against this wall right here. And I seen the shadow through the curtains.
Yeah, bro. That
and I was
freaked me out. Oh my goodness, bro.
So yeah, Brazil. They should have planned it better.
Yeah.
Maybe like, you know what it is though? You think like, you think that the NFL, big company, they will plan all this shit out. There's so many like big companies that they just be bullshitting. Like they cut so many corners and whatnot.
Yeah.
So like it does not surprise me that this didn't come up, and this is probably like poor communication between both. Like,
if
leagues.
Anything, it's probably one of those things where they probably had other stuff lined up, like other places in mind, and they probably asked, but it was either money issues or something that probably came up, and then Brazil was like the only place that they were just like, all right, it seems like it's the only one that's like going through.
I think it was more so they probably like did decide Brazil. I think more so it was like they already signed a bunch of stuff, and like further down the line they were like, oh yeah, you can't wear green. And they're like, yo, like this is something that's like so it's too late to be like, nah. And it'd be a lot easier to just like, all right, they're wearing the black and white uniforms tonight, and they're just removing green. They're wearing like black helmets, which they already introduced this season, but like that's what they're doing tonight. I don't know what Green Bay is going to be doing. I guess all yellow.
That makes sense.
I don't know what that's going to look like though. I guess just the helmet. I don't know. We're going to see. We got a couple hours till we find out if we can make it. It seems like they're trying us right now.
Trying to get us out of here.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was about.
That scared the mess out.
But yeah, got my fantasy league ready. I'm not doing sports betting this year, so you're off the hook, Mark. I'm not gonna ask you to do picks every week.
That always made me nervous, bro.
Yeah, I think I'm done with that. I've never been big into it. I've always just been like, you know what? Like the one sport that I felt comfortable betting in was NFL football.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just throw $20 on my account and do little dollar stupid bets, and just like if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. And every time it's the same story. I put in the 20, I win money, and then I end up back at zero. So I'm tired of throwing away my $20, you know. Not that it's a big deal, but it's like you never win. Especially I work in the industry. I know that nobody ever really wins. Maybe like once in a blue, you're that guy who hits big, but then are you willing to like say, all right, I won and I'm out?
True. Yeah. I mean, like it's a very small percentage of people who actually like really hit big. And the people who consistently hit big are not people who I think are just lucky. They would need it, yeah, or lucky, but that goes into the whole idea of needing it is because it's people who are already rich and they have the money to throw. So they're like, oh yeah, they really are betting and hoping that this odd works out in the people who are the underdogs. But if it doesn't, they just do a whole bunch of money on the other side too as well, just in case if either side wins, they still get a big payout. It's like they can cover themselves no matter what. But for people who are actually like, nah, like I think this is it. Like I got like $15, $20, like this needs to hit, and then it doesn't. They're just like, well, all right, well, that's it. They lost, you know. But other people who got the money, they're just like, bro, no matter what, I'm gonna win regardless. So. Yeah,
same thing with like casinos or anything. It's all the same, you know.
Yeah.
Some people, I've watched people. I never really played myself ever really at a casino, but like I got like people in my family that are into it, so I've been there before and like just like been around because I'm like I got no choice. And I've watched people like be on a hot streak and like just rack it up, and then I'm like, oh damn, like he's really gonna do this, and then lose it. And
yeah,
it's like
I've went once or maybe like twice, but the one time I went, I think I had like 20. Went down to like maybe close to like $10 or a little bit less, and then right on like the last little bit of money I had, I just like went on one machine, and out of nowhere, all this animation started coming up on the screen. I started getting multipliers and stuff, and I was like, I don't know what's happening, bro, but I'm winning, and my score just kept going up and up. And next day, I ended up leaving with like $40 from when I had like 20. So I was like, all right, I made a come up. You know, it wasn't crazy, but you know,
pay for gas.
Exactly. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna take this as my sign to leave, and then ever since then, I never went back, but. That was like maybe like over 4 years now.
But yeah, I'm cool off it this year. I'll just watch and enjoy as a fan. I got my fantasy team. I'll keep track of that. And then hopefully, we got a long season ahead of us. We got the Phillies making a good path. They was doo-doo in their pants a little bit. They picked it back up. Eagles are expected to do big things and make a run. See if that happens. We got new coach and staff and players. Sixers, they made some big signings. They start in October. So now is the best time of the year for me where I just actually have stuff to do at work, and I got three teams that have my mental health in a chokehold for the next couple months.
Yep.
But yeah, it should be fun. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. What is it? Why they keep doing this?
I don't know, man.
Why is it a full room?
Why is it a full room? Facts. I don't know why they have a full room, people.
This is a guest account. And we put our videos on for y'all to see. And every time after it's done, it defaults us to Berleezy. And I don't know what to make of that. But it's okay. They family, like I said. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I just noticed. I love how he has a cap on, like a visor cap. But it's like, you barely even notice it because it's faced backwards. So it's like just something that's like kind of
got a headband.
Yeah, I'm just like, why does he have it on? He should have just not put it on at all. But anyway,
Hey, that's family.
So I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. He would come at me too.
Yeah.
It's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? That's what family does.
But no, also in semi-condolence, R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw
34 years old.
I saw that. I was like, dang, not Homie Quan.
Yeah, bro. He had an overdose, unfortunately. Apparently a bad pill is what I saw from somebody that was close to him. Yeah, he had a big impact. 2010s. Type of way. Say that money. Lifestyle.
I'm glad summer's over because if not, that John's gonna be
oh my god, it would have been a Rich Homie Quan summer.
Bro. Oh my goodness, bro. I mean, I ain't gonna say people. I ain't gonna say people are gonna play during like the holidays, but I'm just saying, bro. Like
I will. Christmas music is canceled.
Christmas music is just gonna be Rich Homie Quan because man, I'm telling you, people would have been blasting that down the streets, bro, all day. But R.I.P. man.
Not dude. Young Thug in jail right now. He even got to like mourn.
I know, man. He probably like, yeah. He's like, no.
Unfortunate situation. But yeah, man, they're like, so what I saw, I haven't been following Rich Homie Quan like closely up and obviously besides his death because like he had his music. It's not as like musically relevant, like
consistent
to say it as nice as I wanted to say it. So he was speaking recently about like how the decline of his like music career had an impact on his mental health and like his substance abuse and stuff like that. And obviously with like the court case for like YSL and stuff, like that's had an impact on him being able to release music and like, so he spoke about like all that stuff kind of having an impact on him, like turning to substances. And obviously that led to his unfortunate early passing. So yeah, man. I mean, the big thing that I wanted to talk about today was that. So my condolences to that because, like, Lord knows we was all playing the shit out of his music when his initial release. And also to say, like, yo, like, how many times, like, just stay away from this stuff, man.
Yeah.
As much as you can. Regardless of anything, like, it's never worth all of that to be doing that stuff. Like, you keep thinking about, like, how many artists we've lost or, like, young as hell over the same reason the past couple of years, like, and especially for probably like, without lack of a better term, stupid reasons. So you think about like a Juice WRLD like years ago. I remember that happening, and the only reason it happened is because he had drugs on his plane with all his friends, and didn't want them to all get in trouble. So he just like tried to eat all of them or like take all of them at once to hide the evidence, which led to an overdose.
Yeah.
And you think about countless others, or like you think about like a DMX or like other artists where you just they get found too late or there's no way for them to get help and then they end up passing so young.
Yeah, it really does suck, like, and I think depending on like what the situation is, man, like you said, it's never a good reason. And just if it's for the reason of just feeling down, just like try to talk to somebody.
No,
I feel like it's always hard for that reason.
There's always other avenues. Like I almost want to like, because obviously, everybody has their thing, like nobody's like addiction free. Addiction's like a harsh word, because you think about like things like drugs or like alcohol or stuff like that or anything. But everybody's like kind of addicted to something, whether if it's your phone, whether if it's food, whether it's sugar or like alcohol, whatever it may be. Like everybody has something that they just can't really kick. And some like you can kind of afford to have more than others, you know? So I almost want to say like if you're able to substitute that, like do it. You know what I mean? Like obviously not all these things in excess are bad for you, but it'd be a lot better like if you just picked up you'd be like, yo, you got a sweet tooth like crazy and Rich Homie Quan like is hooked on food instead of being hooked on hard drugs and like, you know, you're still here.
Yeah.
It's not as bad. It's easier to kick. Or like cigarettes and stuff like that. Like they're harder to kick, but you know, it's like you won't overdose.
Exactly.
So it's like
won't lead to something even worse.
And even better, so like obviously it's easier said than done to try and pick other stuff that you're more dog. What the fuck is going on?
I think somebody's opening the door.
Yeah, but like relax.
And because
like,
they're opening the door, it doesn't have like a stopper and it just hits this. That's wild.
Anyway.
Disrespectful too.
What was I about to say? Just find like obviously easier said than done, but finding healthier habits, whether if it's exercise or like other avenues to like pour out your emotions or whatever you're going through. So
yeah,
for y'all that are watching this, obviously like not everybody's like platinum rap or anything like that, but there are people who don't have a following that also struggle with these things. So it's like, yeah, like try your best to take care of yourself. Like it's never, you never want to shoot yourself in the foot because obviously, you know, everybody has their struggles. Like everybody can be going through rough patches and it's easy to fall into bad habits, but that's only going to further you prolong the situation you're in or just make things worse. And like, I know that from people that I already speak to where it's like, you know, they don't have a job right now and they're struggling to find a job. So and they're just like, yo, I don't got bread like that. And I'm going to turn to like alcohol to like just numb me from it or forget about it. And it's like, that's not doing anything for you. Like, obviously, you know, you get in your feelings, you feel upset. Like we've all gone through some type of time in life where it's like, damn, like I can't find work or I can't do this or that or the other loss or whatever it may be. But like getting hammered or like going to drugs or doing it, it's not going to run to fix the issue.
Yeah.
So like
a lot of it just gives you temporary gratification, you know, like it's just going to be something in the moment, but it's always going to stay. And I think that's when you really just got to feel like, think like, what is the root from it? And like, what exactly is making you feel this way and stuff like that. And that's where I feel like talking to somebody is a good thing. And just praying, man, like, you know, anything you're good, you can get out of it. That's the thing, you know, like it's going to be hard, of course. Like I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. It's going to be hard no matter like what the situation is, who you are, it's going to be different, but like, yeah, it's going to be hard, but definitely it's a good thing to do to just follow certain things as far as like where it's coming from and trying to talk to people because it's a really good thing to do.
So yeah, just try to like keep mindful of those things and like try to avoid falling down that slippery slope because ain't nothing like it's funny. I saw a TikTok. It was this guy. I forgot what the context of it was, but he was just saying he was like, I just saw a friend of his or whatever told him, was like, oh, like I hate speaking to men because about their problems because like 99% of the time they're just gonna say like lock in. And I was about to say something along those lines because like in reality, in most cases, despite like grief or anything like major like that, where you know you can't really change the situation, things that just happen unfortunate. Anything outside of that, it's nothing that can't be fixed by just like focusing in on what you want and like making good steps to go in that direction. Like it don't have to be an instant thing where like, oh, by tomorrow shit is fixed. But even one step in the right direction could make that change. So like whether if it's, you know, Rich Homie Quan's case, it's like his career, you know, finding help, speaking to somebody like you said, going to a meeting, you know, like putting himself into a rehab center, maybe that like could have made the difference, you know, whatever it may be. Or like people that like are struggling for work, it's like, you know, putting that one application in or whatever. It's like obviously you're gonna get a rejection back or 100 like I've been in that case where I've been applying to jobs like crazy and I get 100 rejection emails now. Like that's just gonna happen. But turn into something negative that's gonna harm you, not gonna like get anything out of you. Rather just, you know, try and stay on that path where you just keep tucking your head down and doing what you need to do. While also making sure your mental's good and speaking to somebody that can help you out. Or finding a community, whether it's like something with similar interests or religion or whatever it may be. Like who am I to, you know, pick and choose which direction you go, but something that will help you. It's better for you to stick around with us than to find destructive behaviors and not only harm yourself, but if it ends up in a situation where you're no longer with us, you're hurting the people around you as well, because you always have people that care about you and want you to see you do well. And now you might want to say, oh, where were those people for Rich Homie Quan's case? But it's like, it's also about who you keep around you. If you got other people who are also in that same stuff, who's going to tell you to stop if they're all doing it?
Yeah.
Or in another case, maybe there are people who aren't in it that care about them, maybe like siblings or parents or whatever, maybe partners. A lot of us get caught up in our own business where we kind of like, it's not that we don't care about you, but everybody's so focused on their own thing that it's kind of, we forget to check up on each other from time to time as well. So, yeah. Easier said than done, coming from somebody who's never done like a single drug in my life besides like drink alcohol. Like, just try, make good decisions for yourself as much as you can. And I'm not saying that from a judgmental place. It's more so like, I care about you. We want you alive.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah. It's a terrible thing to, lose your life off of that type of stuff. So, yeah, just try your best to, make the right decisions, and like Vic, like you said, just keep people around you that that will be able to help you out in times where you really need it.
Yeah.
Like just really think about like when you're spending time with certain people, would that person be able to help you out in the future if you're really going through some stuff, because once those people are out of the question, then you're just like, nah, who do I turn to, So it's really good to have people you can count on.
And people that you would actually like want to take advice from. Like, you don't want to hang around a bunch of like, lack of a better term, dickheads, and then not have somebody that can actually provide some value to you when you need it.
Yeah.
But this also ties into another thing that I want to like bring up to you, and like it also ties into the idea of like drugs or substance abuse. Did you see this whole thing with like Kanye and his dentist and like one of his old employees like having a whole beef about it?
No, I haven't, but I mean, it's not a surprise seeing how it's from Kanye, and this is now a thing every like couple months. One of his employees.
Well, this is all like, I don't know how factual this is. There's been screenshots released and stuff like that talking about it, like releasing it. So one of Kanye's old chief of staff, right? I'm assuming we used to work with him with Yeezy and like all this stuff. Came out with like screenshots because I don't know if you saw or if he's seen Kanye's teeth, like the titanium thing that he did to his teeth.
Yeah.
So apparently, this is what I tried to gather from it. There's somebody else that said that apparently this guy's chief of staff for Kanye introduced him to this dentist that did titanium teeth for him. That's what Kanye wanted. You know what I mean? Like, he was probably like, I know a guy, hooked him up with it. That procedure happened. I never found out if it was actually replace his teeth or these just like a grill. Doesn't matter. $850,000 for these titanium teeth.
Jeez.
But this dentist did it. I guess Kanye and this dentist maintain like consistent contact because obviously, he worked on his teeth or whatever. Maybe it's his full-time dentist now. I don't know the whole detail. But since that, this dentist has like introduced Kanye, and I'm guessing it was probably used during the procedure in the first place, to laughing gas or nitrous oxide is like the actual term for it. But since then, it seems like Kanye has become addicted to this gas and has been asking for it repeatedly from the dentist. The ex-chief of staff had screenshots of them three in a group chat, basically showing Kanye like asking for it, and the chief of staff's like, "Yo, like, you don't want to use that, right? Like, this is for like medical use only. This is not a recreational thing. This can cause damage to your nervous system and like mess with your lungs and all this other stuff." And then Kanye was just like, I need it. Yeah.
But I didn't ask about what it can do to me.
I said I want it. I'm Kanye West. But there's this group chat and he showed the screenshots of it and like showing that he's like, yo, like, don't do this. The dentist gave it to him. Apparently he's charging Kanye $50,000 a month for his supply of it. And yeah, the chief of staff is basically accusing the dentist of like introducing him to it and like basically abusing Kanye and his addiction to make a profit.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, the chief of staff is like, yo, I introduced them to each other, but this was to get the teeth thing that he wanted. I didn't think that this was going to turn into this whole situation.
Yeah. I mean, he's just covering himself because say something in the future happens, it's like he'll be the one brought into it. He's just bringing it to light now, so that way people can't string him into it. Mm-hmm. But also, I mean, like the dentist is just definitely like, I guess, I don't know if it's a private practice, if that matters, but I don't know if he's even allowed to do that.
You're not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, regardless, I don't think of what it is. I don't think you can just say, okay, like, you're my patient, give me this money. Like, that sounds very shady.
Like, So this has come out. He posted about it. The ex-chief of staff, he no longer works with Kanye because of this. I'm guessing probably like, yo, like, you you fucking up my high. Get out of here. So he posted about it. He's like, oh, like told the dentist or like because I guess the dentist like replied and said like you're full of shit. And the chief of staff was like the DA and the FBI have both opened a federal investigation against you. You might want to like chill the fuck out before you lose your license and shit. And you might want to tell your other like clients about this as well. And he named one of them, he was like, and one of them being Travis Scott, which makes sense because I'm like Kanye and Travis have like long history together. They probably know the same people. So, but I'm guessing like it seems like this dentist also works on like a lot, does like a lot of like grill shit or like dental shit for like artists. So he was just like, yo, like you've done a lot of bullshit to a lot of artists, gotten them hooked on shit. Like, you know, chill the fuck out before you lose everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to protect Kanye a little bit, even if I'm not working for him anymore. Like he basically said along the lines like that if the chief of staff, he said that if he didn't step in, like there was a very high chance that like Kanye would have been dead by now. On like same situation to like Michael Jackson, where like his doctor like over medicated him to the point where he had passed away. So it's kind of that situation.
R.I.P. Michael, man.
Yeah, man. It's unfortunate as hell.
Yeah.
But like it's a similar situation, and that doctor got like I think he got life.
I think so. Yeah.
So it's crazy to think about like the complications of all that and what could happen if you're not careful. So
yeah,
which is very true that like you can't like I was reading up on it and like your nerve basically all your nerves and like your spine and stuff can get like desensitized and it's crazy. You get like a high kind of feeling and it's not safe. But it's nothing really new. It's just crazy that like the reason I bring it up in addition to that is that I've seen like a lot of like young music artists doing music videos and they're using like the nitrous oxide, like the laughing gas shit. Because now they sell it since it's become like basically a drug. Or like, you know, like you think about back then, it's like, oh, lean was a thing. You see the lean bottles and like people put into soda. Now you're basically seeing kids like with whipped cream cans of like nitrous oxide. And they designed the shit out the cans. Like it looks like a fucking Four Loko. Or like, you know, you see like weed companies now, like they design the shit out of their packaging.
Yeah.
Similar to that. And you see like, bro, these kids are like 17, 16. Like they're popping because they got like music videos and like they actually have a following. But there's one kid I saw, he had a music video called Whip It, which is what they're called. Like they're called Whip Its. And he's like in the video just like taking hits off of it. And there's a bunch of kids that like they look like just thin and like young. You could tell they're young doing this shit. You don't have a fully developed brain and you're like taking this to the head while you're still developing.
Wild.
And it's not new because like it's been a thing for years, like speed or like whippets and stuff like that. Like especially on the boardwalk, I remember seeing people showing videos of like the Atlantic City boardwalk. And you'll see people walking around with like inflated like plastic balloons, and people take hits of whippets that way. It'd just be balloons filled with nitrous oxide. So yeah, it's just scary as hell. And like I hate the fact that I feel like we get so close as like a generation from steering away from like hard substance abuse. Obviously, like alcohol and like smoking is always kind of going to be lingering because
it's basically legal
of reasons that we'll talk about for another day. That's a whole other deeper discussion. But to see that and like to think that we were like this close, bro, to stopping cigarettes. And then e-cigarettes and Juuls and like all that other and like,
it always happens.
All like that shit popped up, and it was just a resurgence, and it made it even worse because these things are essentially able to be smoked indoors, and nobody would know. I remember being in high school, seeing kids like smoking them in high school, or like you know how you have an iPhone charger with the USB, they would plug their Juul into the iPhone like brick in the school cafeteria. You know, obviously, like with cigarettes, it's like not that it's any better. But there's restrictions now where you can't smoke indoors, and it wasn't traceable because obviously the cigarettes have a stronger odor than a Juul does. Like Juul smells like cotton candy and blueberries, and nobody's gonna know. Or like big ass vapes that look like lightsabers and shit. It's like it doesn't. It's not an offensive smell. It doesn't linger for long unless you're near them. So we almost got away from that. The lean shit was almost done. Now people started like. I remember Molly was like big when the song came out. Fucking now people doing painkiller pills like crazy. Young kids doing this shit, like just tweaking off of it. And you see it even worse in Philly when you drive around certain areas. And now, not that this is new, but like now you have a resurgence of whippets, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and they're trying to make it seem like it's like, remember when you were kids, you had like the DARE program?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, be careful for certain drugs because like drug dealers can make it look like candy. It's basically what they're doing now with these like whippets and shit because they're just putting these crazy designs on the can, but it's like, you know, this shit could kill you, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, just covering
you
it
can
up.
be mind numbing. Like, it used to be like, oh, like this is your brain on marijuana, and they would crack an egg and that shit just like melt on the pan. It's like that to like the 10,000th degree, bro. This is a
Yeah.
medical grade like thing meant to like numb your body for surgeries and shit.
Yeah.
I've only been put to sleep like once, and it was for my
Wow.
wisdom teeth. And even then, like I understand, like I get why it's an issue.
Mm.
Because there's literally like a matter of like, oh, they were like counting back from 10. And I was like, 10, 9. Like I was gone, bro. Like it did not take long. And it's shit is scary how like quickly people could get addicted to that stuff. Or that,
Yeah.
or even in addition to that, that's what really scared the fuck out of me from like any type of like drugs in general. Like more so like prescription shit. After that, they give you painkillers. And they gave me, I think, Oxycontin or some shit like that. And like like genuinely needed it because my mouth was killing me, so it would help get rid of the pain. But as it got to the point where I was close to being done with healing from the surgery, and I knew I could like, it would still hurt, but I knew I could like live without it. I felt like I genuinely was itching when I stopped taking it. This is not a joke. Like I felt like I was itching my skin because I felt that I needed another one. This is not bullshit. I'm not saying this for jokes. That genuinely scared the shit out of me to the point where me and my brother did it at the same time. Like the wisdom teeth.
Oh, okay.
And we both like, and it was like clockwork. It said like take like every 6 hours or some shit. You could take it at noon and you feel great. The minute 6:01 hits, the pain is back like crazy.
Wow.
And then once you would take it, you would immediately feel relief from it. But once like after I stopped taking it, the pain like after the 6 hours would be up, and I didn't feel like if I feel like I could function, I was like, yeah, I'm cool off. And I told I was like, take these away from me. And I was like 16, 17.
That's wild. Yeah, I've never had that
Yeah.
happen.
You never had your wisdom teeth taken out?
No.
Or like another thing that people have like morphine in hospitals, and they give you like a button that allows you to give you can give yourself more morphine. Like that's another issue that I've seen people have. So it's scary to see like the slippery slope that is, and that's coming from somebody like, you know me, like I don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to do that, that's what scares me to even like dip my toe in anything, because like I don't know like how far I could fall. Because there's some, obviously I'm not like doing nothing hard or super crazy, but there are some drugs where it's like, oh, if you do it once, like it feels so great.
Yeah.
Not to like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like people say like it feels amazing, and then they spend that time chasing that high again for the rest of the time, and they end up getting into deeper shit. So that's why I'm like, yo, I'll take my one sip of alcohol like every 6 months that I do whenever the occasion arises, and I just stick to like a healthy lifestyle, square lifestyle as much as I can. I'm happy with that. That's all you could call it.
Yeah.
I wake up, I go to work, I work out, I come record with you, I play video games, and I go to sleep. And I like to go out to eat from time to time. Sue me. Yeah, that's really all. And I try to travel when I got the time to.
Oh yeah, I mean it's good. Like yeah.
What else can you call it? I watch my anime. That's as square as you fucking get, and I'm cool with that.
No, yeah, it's no reason to try to like, I guess, spice it up by doing those type of things, because it just leads to stuff that just, like you said, that addicting, that itch, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And it's scary to think that something like that has control over you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm not like, weed smokers or whatever. Like I'm not coming at y'all. It's got nothing to do with y'all. Before people were like, "What do you like? It's fine. I'm not addicted." And even though some of y'all be acting like y'all can't function without it, but that's a different discussion. But there's medicinal purposes for it. Do you, if it helps you with whatever you got going on. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the people popping pills and smoking whipped cream cans, basically.
Stuff that basically should not be on the streets at all, you know.
Putting booger sugar up your nose and all them other things. Naturally occurring stuff. Do you, I guess. I'm not here to judge. I don't really care. As long as you don't care that I don't do it. But anything else you want to touch on the topic before we get out here, Mark?
Nah. I think we touched on a lot. Be safe. Do the right things. Talk to people that can help you.
Mm-hmm. Love each other.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on one another.
Yep.
Help each other. And most importantly, go Birds.
Go Birds.
See y'all later.
Peace.